Welcome to the stream and the channel. I am Books Nelson with the Bro Show, and today we're going to be getting into Bol Bol. I was lucky enough to grab this guy for about 320k MT off of bid, which for me was kind of a steal. So before we even get into the card, I did put the low bounce Adidas on him. You can see right there, taking his ball handle from an 83 to an 86, and it also gives him a higher speed with the ball. So this will be the by default speed boosting Bol Bol version of the Bol Bol card. Alright, so let's get that out of the way right there. And now I'm just going to let everybody know that we are in here in case you guys want to catch this in the live setting. So, alright, so the Bol Bol is supposed to be just the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas, and I've seen nothing but great things from him, but I wanted to get my hands on this card and see for myself what he's really bringing to the table. Because while I've seen everybody talk about how great he is, I haven't seen a lot of in-depth stuff about how great he is. So I just felt like I really wanted to get that out to you guys, whether or not the card even fits what I'm trying to do. So I actually dribbled around with him for a little while without the speed boosting, and I would say you definitely want the speed boosting on this card because there's just a few dribbles that he can't do that are definitely going to make him better. So, but he does have a very quick size up package. So all right, let's get right to it because this guy's definitely bringing a lot to the table. I mean, we see just how tall he is. He's really, really, really tall. But the one thing I'll say right off the bat is that his full court dribbles are definitely very awkward, and he doesn't have any of the elite full court dribbles. They all kind of slow him down in terms of the crossover behind the back and between the legs. I didn't look at that hezzy yet. Okay, so there we go. The left trigger hezzy, or left, or up on the right stick hezzy, and then crossover with the left stick. That's a big, big dribble for him because that's his fastest crossover in the full court. And then we'll look at that same dribble going the same way, and it's all right. And just for the sake of thoroughness, we'll look at that into a shot as well. And that's how he looks when he goes straight into a shot off of that dribble. So that's what he's really doing full court, unless you're playing triple threat online, and then you can, utilize the spins and stuff like that to your advantage. But the thing about it is, in my team unlimited setting, a card this big moving across court wildly like that is probably going to move into other players. So you'd rather these more efficient dribbles be the way you want to go. Check out the half spin and the in and out. The in and out's pretty good too. Alright, so we're going to get into his half-court dribbles real quick. And before we do that, let's look at the hot zones. He's got hot zones everywhere, and he has a really nice release. He has a 91 three-pointer, which I believe on this D'Antoni will be boosted to a 95. I could have put a three-point shoe on him, but I wanted the speed with the ball to kind of play into what the card does well. There we go. So here's his boosted stats. 94 midi, 94 three-point, driving layups a 96, standing dunk is a 95, driving dunks a 89. That's another one I could have put up, but I figured on a 7-2 character, if an 89 driving dunk's not enough, you just need to put the card on auction, right? There you see by default 86 ball control, no boost applied to him with this coach. So that's just with the sneaker, giving him that boost right there. And post fade is excellent. Wow, post fade and post hook on a card this tall is going to be just outstanding. Like, if you play him at the 4, I would imagine that maybe Giannis can guard him. I don't know any other 4s that would do too great against this card, quite frankly. This might be like a more of a reason to have a Giannis in the back burner. Off the top of my head, I can't think of too many cards that I would put to guard this card if he's going to be posting you up at all, because he's so tall and he has such high post ratings. Maybe Anthony Davis is 6'10". It might be that height advantage. You might actually need Giannis as 6'11" to be fast enough to keep up with him. I think even Davis might struggle a little bit because of that height. All right, so the block is insane. Shot contest is insane. Lateral quickness is not the greatest in the world. I do believe this card has clamps. We'll check that out in a second. 84 speed. Which is, I think that's being boosted by the coach. 82 speed with ball, that's definitely being boosted by the shoe. And there we go with the 80 strength. All right. So, and let's look at the badges real quick before we get into the rest of these animations. So we see he has, for some reason, basically every elite dunking badge and deep hooks. My God, this card is insane. I didn't take a super, and he has Hall of Fame range extender with the quick draw. So we're gonna look at all of the stuff. We're gonna look at his peekaboo, all of that stuff. We're gonna look at everything. All right, he has gold quick first step and no ankle breaker, so even more of a reason to put that. That shoe cost me about 9K. It was 9K exactly. Actually, he has Hall of Fame Intimidator here. All the more reason to put that shoe on him. And there we have the gold clamp. So guys, I'll reiterate again. This was proven by NBA 2K Toots. If you want to see that video, you can look that up. That the clamps badge also increases your lateral quickness, right? So he probably has something closer to, I don't know, an 86 or 90 lateral quickness with gold clamps. All right, so let's get onto the court, see what he's bringing to the table. So this is his hezi, which is not remarkable. Not a great hezi, but he's 7'2", so this is all graded on the curve, obviously. We're gonna look at his. Here's his peekaboo, which is excellent. He has a remarkable peekaboo for a card this size. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a serious weapon. A card this size, when he's coming up court, if this card's coming up court and he does the hezi crossover into the peekaboo, that right there is enough to make this card a bona fide monster, especially with Hall of Fame range extender. So his shot feels really good, but it is a particular kind of shot that I do think you have to get used to, because at the top of the shot there is the green window. He kind of has it up at the top for a second, and you have to get used to where that green window is. But I know once you get the green window, it'll be fine. Okay, more of the dribbles. So let's see what his momentum dribble looks like. So there, oh my God, he moves so fast out of his momentum dribble. It's not even funny. Like that's a lot for a card this size to be able to do. I'm just going to look at a few more of these momentum combos here and some of the situations that he can create. So his size up dribble is not very strong. It's very, very slow. So while he can explode out of it, I don't like it as much as I like Thon Makers. Again, he's 7'2", so it's not unusable, but I don't think it's as much of a go-to move. That's his step back. So he has the Kevin Durant step back. The good thing about that step back is out of a momentum dribble, it's really, really great for creating space off of a three. And because he has a really good momentum dribble, now here's the thing. So this is a little mini tutorial part of this. If you guys are new to momentum dribbling, when the momentum dribble continues, you get different moves than if you cancel out of it right away, right? So if I was to say shoot off of the momentum dribble and I let this continue, I can go into the shot like that. But if I let the whole thing play out, he'll get the cancel at a different spot because of this default animation that plays out here. So this also, because that's a momentum run, this also determines what dribbles you get. So this is the difference between getting a snatch back, right, and getting this. It's the same input, it's just a different timing, right? So if you want the step back, you have to input it right away off of the momentum dribble, right? Like so. So you would just momentum, step, you would just momentum, step back right away. Now, if you want the snatch back, you let the momentum rock for a little bit, and then you get the snatch back. So both of these are going to be really strong options for him because he can put the step back anywhere he wants to, because he has that little short step back that's not great about creating space, but it is good for comboing. And the thing about him is because he's so tall, he doesn't need as much space. He doesn't need to step as far back as like a Steph Curry or a Russell Westbrook or a Derrick Rose if they're shooting on the perimeter, right? He's 7'2", so contesting shots with him is a lot more difficult because of the 2K system. The taller you are, the harder it is to get a shot contest on you. So if someone's playing off of you a little bit and you hit them with this momentum step back like that, that happens so quickly that you can get like 100% wide open, 100% uncovered on somebody if they're playing man-to-man defense, if they're playing, on-ball defense. So his momentum, super strong. I definitely recommend it. Let's look at some more of his combos here. So all right, so his behind the back, he can't do the explosive behind the back. However, I will say this: he does have the shooters behind the back, where he can do this kind of step walk behind it, that right there, and that's going to be very good. But also, when he does the explosive behind the back, this is what he gets. But he does move out of it fairly quickly. So even though he's not going to momentum and charge out of that, he's still fairly mobile when he gets that stuff going on. So you can still, again, because of his size and because of his step back, you can still kind of use this in the same context as you would the current version of the explosive behind the back on a smaller card, because his step back, as soon as you do this step back animation, and I'm not talking about the snatch, I'm talking about the step back afterwards, you can shoot immediately because it's a very short animation. I actually have footage of me doing that with Giannis on people, and it works very well because they're so afraid of the card driving to the basket. So that's his hop dunk situation. Alright, so let's look at a few more of his dribbles here. So this is what he looks like exploding out of the between the legs, which is okay. Oh man, going the other way is really fast for him. That's really fast for ball. So when you put the ball between your legs going the opposite direction, he launches out of that pretty quickly, which even in and of itself is kind of cheesy. This card is he's just so tall to be playing like this. Like he plays almost he moves almost like Kevin Durant, but he's 5 inches taller, which is basically it. He also has the crazy long arms like KD, but again, 5 inches taller. So I'm not sure. So let's check the half court combos. Yeah, his running between the legs is not particularly great, and neither is his running behind the back. So while this card is excellent, I don't think he is as glitchy and cheesy as he could have possibly been, because he doesn't, to my knowledge, I'll look for a few more things here. He doesn't really have a way to speed himself up in like a gross way going to the basket. Like even that, I was trying to do his in and out, but he doesn't like to do the running in and out in the half court. Trying to see if I could get that going, but he needs more momentum to do the running in and out. See if I can get it. Yeah, he'll go into his step backs if you do anything else. And even in the half court, his running in and out isn't that crazy. You said his between the legs behind the back isn't bad. It's fine. It's mostly because he's a 7-footer. Okay, I think I might have found something though. He might have the Bam Adebayo, which I told you guys about here, and I have used this in the game. Okay, so his crossover behind the back, this is where he gets broken. His crossover behind the back is cancelable, right? So you see him canceling the frames on his crossover animation. So I'm going to show you his crossover animation in its entirety so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That's his crossover, right? There's a big hitch on it. And this is his behind the back. Big pause on it. But if you do the crossover into the behind the back, he not only cancels several frames out of both of those animations, but he launches himself forward as well. And that's when the stutter step can come in also. So the combination of his crossover behind the back and his stutter step, that definitely gives him a different dimension. Especially because he has the leaners and the post fade and all of that other stuff. Yeah, that's real nice for ball. And I would definitely be using that foolishness to have a good amount of fun on this game. Because no one's guarding that. Like forget about the dunks and the three-pointers. No, once he gets into the lane and starts shooting those kind of shots, that's what makes him unguardable. I feel like Dwayne Wade has a similar game. That's what makes him unguardable as well. So let's talk about him behind screens a little bit. Not that you even have to screen this character, but this move is really, really nice behind screens. If you guys are watching a 3v3, you'll see a lot of that. Guys kind of doing this thing behind screens because it moves you very quickly. And if you do any kind of misdirect dribbles like that, you see he kind of went the opposite direction instantly. That between the legs is also good in a misdirect situation. This card is definitely outstanding. I would say while he's great, I don't think he's a card. I don't think he has hit the realm of like, if you don't have this card, you can't win, or if somebody has this card, you can't beat them. As good as this card is, in his current state, he's not the fastest card in the world. He's not the strongest card in the world. He's a great shooter. You definitely have to work on the shot to make sure you have the shot. And he's super tall, which is awesome. He's a very, very good card, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't call him the best card in the game. And I don't think he even breaks the mode necessarily. He's very good, don't get me wrong. Right, that's a nice post-fade animation. I'm going to look at his post-fade animations while I talk. He's very good, don't get me wrong. But I do think that this card is still much better if you use him with skill. Like, take Giannis. I love Giannis because I like Giannis as a player, but Giannis is a really, really, really brain-dead card, right? Like, literally any idiot can take Giannis and just turbo into the lane, tap, hop, step, and, you're good to go. And, like, that's the primary way to use Giannis. There are other things you can do with Giannis, but if you do that, you're fine. Whereas with Ball, I think the primary way to use Ball is to have a lot of skill. You can use him as basically an oversized cone, and he's going to be really good in that role, right? Where he's just catching and shooting from really far away. He's stretching out the defense. He's rim running. He's rebounding and running the floor. All of that stuff's going to be really good with Bol Bol, and he doesn't love to hop dunk, which is good actually. It's good that he doesn't love to hop dunk because this is a card that would be really silly if he hop dunked every time. That was a really glitchy hop dunk animation. Look at some of his dunks now. So I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't hop dunk, but he's not like Giannis where I don't know if I've played Giannis and gone for a hop dunk and seen him get a layup. And some cards are like that. Like Jimmy Butler's like that. I think RJ Barrett's like that. Like RJ Barrett hop dunks every time I've tried to hop dunk with him. He's hop dunked very easily. So, you know. But yeah, this Bol Bol card, I think he's great. His step back is solid. Let's look at his step back out of the... It's not the fastest thing in the world, to be honest with you. Out of the left trigger hesitation. But yeah, I like the Bol Bol. I think he's really good. If you like getting the most out of cards, I think he's a really great card for that because this is a card that if you master this card, you'll have so many ways to score. He's really kind of like a 7-2 Kevin Durant, to be honest with you. He's very similar to a 7-2 Kevin Durant. A lot of the stuff that you do with KD, you can do with this card. The big difference being he has much better dribbles. Lamont, no, I have not played with Dan Issel yet. When I played the Triple Threat offline, I got Danny Green, and I don't think I've played Triple Threat offline since. So yeah, he's got some funky layups too. I'm going to look at his layup animations. Not that too many people are going to be doing layups with him. I know you guys love to dunk on people, and that's what he's primarily going to be doing. He's got some solid layup animations, which is really good when you beat somebody and you want to, you know, kind of get the move off quickly and beat the timing of what they're doing. Avoiding a dunk gather is not the worst thing in the world. All right, look at some more of his dribbles here. This is such an interesting card, guys. I gotta say, such an interesting card. All right, what's his strong hand dunks look like? That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy strong hand dunk. Let's check out his weak hand dunk. There's a gather on it, but he's 7'2", so you know. Let's check his switch hands dunks. Very nice going to his weak hand from his strong hand. That's actually really fantastic. And we're going to switch to his strong hand. Oh, yeah. So if you just focus on right hand attacking, either attacking with the right and going left or going left and going back to your right, his dunk packages are outstanding. Really, really outstanding dunk packages. So you're going to check his two-handed dunk going up with the right. It's okay, fairly safe stuff. A little bit of a back scratcher in there. And we're going to check his two-handed dunk going up with the left. Really nice dunk. It's a gather, but very safe, very powerful. He should get that off fine. All right, so yeah, I like the Bol Bol card. I think because of his animations, he's very, very good. I would even say great, but I don't consider him too overpowered. I think it's just, honestly, it's just really weird seeing a character this tall move this well, shoot this well, having him, and if you play him at center, I don't know how other centers are going to guard this guy. I think you might like need Kareem or Wilt or Anthony Davis to try to you know, establish some resistance just because he's so fast. He switches sides so well. He moves so quickly. But yeah, I think he's good. I think he's good. I don't think he's like super broken, get him out the game, how could you let this happen kind of thing. Obviously, because he's Bol Bol and he's never played an NBA game, he's ridiculous and he's absurd. But he is what I expected them to do to Kristaps Porzingis. But for some reason, they never released an OP Kristaps Porzingis card. And Porzingis put up, in his best time, like when he's fully healthy, he can put up borderline MVP numbers. Like he's like an Embiid, where he's not an MVP, but you could, you know, he gets in the conversation when he's playing his best, right? So with 2K, that's all the fuel they need to make a Porzingis move like this. But they haven't put out a Porzingis card that does it. They just kind of gave those abilities to Bol Bol for whatever reason. So there we go. I think, honestly, he's the Kristaps Porzingis card that we were all, not all, but me and the people that I talked to were, like, expecting. And, yeah, and so now you have it. Now you have, like, a real Kristaps Porzingis OP, post up, face up, you know, all over the court, guard everybody, pretty fast but not super fast card. You have that. I think if this card, so, and just a quick little bit of meta talk when we talk about big men, I think the most OP thing a big man can do is the combination of hitting open threes and being really, really fast on defense. When they're able to run around on defense really quickly with like a 90-something speed and be in the passing lane with like super long arms, that's what at the competitive level is really strong about bigs. Having a range extender is a bonus on a big. It is absolutely not necessary. Having ball handling is a bonus on a big. It is absolutely not necessary. That's why I think a lot of people play this card at the 4 and not the 5. Now, because of my play style, I'd play him at the 5. But I might have him switch out for the 4. I could definitely see doing that. I wouldn't say he's 100% my, long-term solution at center, even though I like the card. But the number one thing you can do is have that OP speed on defense. And while he is not slow, he's definitely not slow, he's also not in the elite center category when it comes to speed. And I think that will affect, the way this card is played defensively in terms of the top tiers. I don't think there's anything this card is super terrible at. Even with he only has an 80 strength, but he's 7'2". If I recall, he has pogo stick. Let's double check. Let's see what his post defensive badges look like. I mean, he's got 18 post defensive badges. He's got Hall of Fame pogo stick, Hall of Fame rim protector, tireless defender, and moving truck, and post move lockdown. So I think unless you're running like literally Taco Fall or, I don't even know who else I would put in that category. Maybe Boban or something. I don't think posting up this card is your route to victory, particularly because this guy's going to be out on the perimeter with like whatever slow cards you have. They're going to have to deal with that, right? So, yeah, I have the PDMB too. If I haven't done a review for PDMB, in fact, you know what? I might do that soon. I might do a comparison between him and Greg Oden, because I do have the PDM bead, and even though PDM bead has range extender, I might be holding on to Greg Oden and playing him instead because of the way he plays defense. His defense is perfect for me. I find his defense to be perfect. Whereas with Embiid, he's been getting dunked on a little bit, man. I love the range extender. I love the post ups. I love the way the card moves in general, but he get dunked on a little bit. I don't like that. You just went 12-0. He's lightning fast, even faster than Bol. Who are you talking about? Embiid? Slam you? Yeah, like I said, I like the Embiid card. And in fact, I'll probably do... I don't know. I might do a little head-to-head. You never get dunked on with Embiid down low? Yeah, I seen him get banged on a few times. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Whereas Greg Oden, listen, Greg Oden has gotten, out of every card that I have personally played with, next to Pink Diamond Anthony Davis, who has also gotten some crazy stuff, the most absurd defensive animations I've seen. I'm talking about totally unexpected strips and snatch blocks when I wasn't even playing the card. Rebounds he's not supposed to get, just post move shutdowns, off ball, and that's how I judge a defensive card. I don't judge a defensive card about how I play on ball with them. I judge it by what the defensive card does on their own, because defensive cards, the strength of them is what they do passively, because you can only control one person at a time and there's 5 people on court, right? So, when I see Embiid doing that crazy stuff and I'm not even controlling him, I'm like, that's nuts. I did forget to check out the triple threat on Bol, so I'm going to be going through that right now real quick. That was actually pretty fast, like really, really fast. I would go as far as to say triple threat is going to be a high level form of attack for him, because it's going to be very hard. Like, you're basically going to have to guess what he's doing, because he explodes very, very fast out of the triple threat. And he gets his dunk animation really, really quick out of the triple threat. I'm not going to lie. I like this card, man. This card is fun. It's silly that they gave it to him, of all people. Again, I thought this would be Porzingis, but he's a fun card. I don't think he's overpowered. I just think he's really good. I think there's a difference between overpowered and really good. He's a bit of a mismatch, but I don't think he's worse than point guard Giannis. And that's what I said when the card launched. And now that I've played with him some and I've watched a lot of gameplays with him, I think the same thing. He's a really good card. I think this card is definitely beatable, but I don't think he's as egregious as point guard Giannis or Ben Simmons with Hall of Fame range extender. I think those are the two like biggest crimes 2K has committed this year by far. I mean, this is silly, but in terms of what the card actually does, if you just name him Kristaps Porzingis, he's just a little too fast. Like, that's it, right? Like, Porzingis has nice handles. Porzingis can shoot. Porzingis is good in the post. Porzingis is good on defense. So outside of his lateral quickness and general speed being boost, it's par for the course for my team. It's just the fact that it's bowling. He hasn't played an NBA game yet. That's what makes it really like dumb. But that's whatever. I'm more concerned about does the card break the balance of the game? And I do think that Ben Simmons and Giannis move the needle in the balance of the game more than they should, particularly when the smaller point guards are so fun to watch, so fun to use. I don't think it's impossible to win with a smaller point guard. In fact, I know it's not. I've seen only average skill players with small point guards beat other average skill players with large point guards. So while having a larger point guard is an advantage, I don't think it's an insurmountable advantage by any means. But I think that was an unfortunate choice by 2K. Is Ball an unfortunate choice? Nah, he's a silly choice. But I don't think he's an unfortunate choice. He's just a tall Kevin Durant, is basically what he is. He's a tall Kevin Durant. That makes him really, really good. But like KD's not broken. Ball's not broken. But Ball's pretty good. Really good, really good. Was there new content today? I don't know about any new content as of yet. There's a Michael Jordan card that seems to be in these spotlight. What was it? Record-breaking calendar card, something like that. Today's stats, whatever they call it. But the card looks really, really bad. He doesn't have a lot of the key badges that you would use today, so he's not like a real card. But you know, sometimes cards are Evos and they don't say so right away, so maybe it's an Evo card. When I get official news on that, I'll definitely make a video. But I don't do too many predictions and speculation videos in this game. Especially now with everybody at home, because content could be being rolled out in any old weird way. 2K's making do like everybody else. They got, they're dealing with the corona stuff and having people out of the office. So when the content's up, the content's up. Everybody else can make the speculation videos. I don't hate on that. It's just not my thing. I'm just too busy to, make videos about content that may not exist. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. That's gonna wrap it up for the Bowl deep dive. I would say the strongest thing about the card is definitely his momentum into this step back here is like the key thing with the card. And obviously, the stopping with the left stick into the step back is also really nice. And combining his momentum into the snatch back into the step back is also going to be really nice. You're going to probably get a lot of threes like that. And when it comes to the full court game, his crossover behind the back is super glitchy. Like, that's really crazy. That's crazy stuff that I don't know what you're going to do about that. That's just good luck. Good luck with that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.